Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is the new Pokemon Trainer Team Series, Dragapult, the articulated figure from Jazwares. So this is Series 4 of our Pokemon Select figures. So Dragapult is 1 out of 4. You can see it still has the traditional beautiful box art. There's some glossy finishes on the side. We have a beautiful illustration of Dragapult there. We have Pikachu on the top. Now, on the backhand side, we can see the rest of the figures that are released within Series 4. And those figures are Charizard, Typhlosion, Samurott, and Dragapult. And you're probably thinking, why do we have Charizard again? You know, we already had it in Series 1. Well, as you know, Charizard is a very popular character. So new fans that are just getting into this line, you know, they may have missed Series 1 and they probably can't get that figure anymore. So instead of never being able to get it or finding it on the aftermarket prices, they reintroduced Charizard again to make sure that new fans can still get that figure. So these figures are a part of the Trainer Team Series, which is now a Target exclusive, so we can only find these at Target stores. Here is the barcode and the Target DPCI to help you track this down in store. It is currently on the Target app and the price is $21.99. Here is Dragapult out of the packaging, and this figure is amazing. It has a crazy amount of articulation. It has this awesome articulated tail that is just like Articuno's, with this cool ombre look to it and a very translucent tip. Series 4 continues with our clear articulated stand, so it has 1, 2, 3 segments and a base, which looks great because you can pose your Dragapult or any of your figures in a bunch of different directions. So I'd like to start with the paint applications. So at the head, the sculpting looks fantastic. You can see the little baby Dreepies, and these don't come out, they stay in place. There's actually a great amount of length to this head, so while we're here, we might as well just measure. So from left to right, we're looking at about, I would say, 7 3/4 inches wide. And here I'll give you more of a close-up of this head. Paint applications and sculpting, everything looks really good, pretty much almost seamless to this figure. The head articulation is so good. There appears to be 2 joints, so we have a hinge here and what I think is a ball joint up there. So we can have Dragapult looking downwards with a great amount of range of motion. Here's just another look at Dragapult looking down, so you can see, I mean, you can get some great posability out of that. And then from there, we can have Dragapult looking to the left and then to the right, so pretty good range of motion, and I'll show you that in the back. So it doesn't look like Dragapult can do a full 360 just because of the way the joints are at the base of the neck, but we can still get some good posability from it. That leads us into the torso, so it looks like we have a hinge joint, so we can't go from side to side, but we can have Dragapult leaning forwards and backwards, which is honestly a pretty good amount of movement there. Now here's what it would look like if I took Dragapult's torso, moved it forward, and then also took the head and moved it all the way down as well, and just honestly a crazy amount of articulation. I mean, that's so good. I mean, you can do some great dynamic poses with that. So Dragapult's mostly in an upright position, but this is if I was going to have Dragapult like laying flat kind of, or kind of like flying forwards, or maybe even just like kind of looking down upon like another Pokemon. And that's honestly what's so handy about these articulated stands, is you could just like take them and just move them in all different directions and really display your Pokemon in awesome poses. So let's look at the arms and hands. There's honestly a lot of character to them. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different joints there. So the one at the shoulder, or the closest to the body, it looks like it's on a swivel joint. So we can take the arm and we can actually rotate it all the way around. From there at like the elbow, you can see there's double joints. So we can do a little bit of a hyper extension. Actually, we could do more than a hyper extension. That's awesome. And then we can take the arm and basically fold it on itself. That is just so good. There doesn't appear to be a swivel anywhere, like at the wrist area, but that's okay because we have 4 segments that we can do a lot of great poses with. And then honestly, if you wanted to turn the arm inwards or outwards, you have that capability here at the shoulder. So we can take the arm and we can have it come out this way, and you can get some cool poses that way too. The last area is going to be at the wrist, so it looks like we have a hinge, so we can move the hand upwards and also downwards, which is great because honestly, that's where most of that character comes from, is there at the hand. Here's some of that paint application at the front. What I really enjoy about this is you can see a great separation, the way they went from the dark to the light right here. It's like really speckled, and they did a great job making that like a gradient type of feel, and honestly they blended it really well. At the legs, there appears to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 joints also, which is great. Starting at the hips or the thigh, there are 2 joints there, so you can see there is a hinge. There's also a swivel, so we can take the leg and we can spin it all the way around. So within us doing that, that hinge joint will allow us to take the leg and move it up and down in a lot of different positions. As we look at the knee, there is a hinge there also, so we can take it and move it forwards and backwards. And then at the ankle, I was actually wrong. There are 5 joints there. So we have a hinge, a swivel, a hinge, another hinge, and then what appears to be a ball joint around this foot right there, which is crazy because that adds a lot of range of motion in a very small area. And finally, the chef's kiss to this figure, it is the tail. First off, this beautiful turquoise runs all the way down. That leads into this very beautiful translucent area there. Now, if I zoom in, you can see they did that little speckling to it as well. And honestly, it's just so refreshing to have this. I know it was introduced within Articuno's tail, but it's great that they were able to do this again with Dragapult. I mean, think of all the different points of articulation that you can make from this. So you can bend it up high here and down there, and you can just do a lot with this. I mean, you can make some crazy poses out of this tail just because there is a wire running through it. And this plastic is kind of like a rubbery type of feel, and it just feels great. It doesn't feel like the wire's gonna like pop out or anything like that. It feels nice and sturdy. So I've already measured the head, but I like to see what the rest of this figure measures up to. So let's just do like the body itself. So like the bottom of the foot to like the top of the head. And I'm thinking we're looking at about just under 4 inches. I would say about 3 3/4 inches tall. Okay, now length of the figure. So I thought I was gonna have a harder time like stretching this out and trying to figure out how to do it, but since the stand is articulated, I mean, this works out really well. So if I'm going from top of the head right here to the tip of the tail, oh man, we are over a foot. We are just under 13 inches. We are at 12 3/4 inches. So a foot and 3/4 inches long. What? That is insane. Here, let's do a comparison with some of our other Pokemon Select figures. So again, these aren't supposed to be in scale, they're just basically 6-inch figures as a whole. And here, of course, is Dragapult next to our legendary birds. Okay, that's gonna wrap up this review and unboxing of the new Pokemon Select Trainer Team Series Dragapult figure by Jazwares. This is a Target exclusive only. You can find it in store or on the Target app. I gotta say, I really love this figure. It has a great amount of detail and the articulation is phenomenal. They were really able to capture the likeliness of Dragapult from the animated series. And what a perfect time too, especially since we get to see Leon showcase his Dragapult and we can capture one in Pokemon Violet. But for the price, this figure has a lot to offer, immense amount of articulation, the paint applications look phenomenal, and that articulated tail is just fantastic. The only other thing I would add to this figure would be articulation at the torso, being able to move from left to right, but other than that, it's great and you can get a lot of dynamic poses from it. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Be sure to find me on Instagram where I do toy photography, toy videos, toy hunts, toy deals, and all things toy related. Link in the description below. If you like this video and you want to see more of it, be sure to like and subscribe. It is free, and we will see y'all in the next video.